Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at each individual life path forecast for the month of April 2023. Before we get into the forecast, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we'll take a deep dive into your own numerology, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at April real quick. So April 2023 is a 2 universal cycle. And what that means is that universally, collectively, we will all be feeling the influences of this 2 energy. So what this could bring about is the need for balance, things coming to the surface that are out of balance, whether that's body, mind, spirit, or with relationships, things that have just felt out of alignment, coming to the surface for review to bring back into alignment at this time, or at least start that process, right? This energy is also asking us to become the observer, to stand back and really not get too emotionally invested in a situation that we don't need to be emotionally invested in, but rather take a step back, take a look through a broader lens and see, are we thinking too rigidly about something? Are we overly invested in something? Are we overextending ourselves in a situation that we don't need to be? Or again, are we overly involved in a situation that we don't need to be, which is therefore leading to resentment or frustration or stagnate, whatever, right? Whatever being overly involved or being too immersed in the situation, if it's causing imbalance, then again, this is going to be a month where standing back, being the observer, seeing things from a broader lens will benefit us. This energy will also ask us to be more decisive and discerning in who we choose to invest our energy into, what that looks like, what we will compromise with, and again, making decisions. So there may be events this month collectively where things come in and we need to make a quick decision, and it doesn't really necessarily give us time to second guess ourselves or to weigh the pros and cons. We have to trust our own internal guidance system and the information that we have that's presented to us and make a decision. And then once we make that decision, we have to give ourselves grace to understand that in that moment, that was what we needed for ourselves. And so again, deal with the consequences as they come up from that decision. Maybe make different decisions moving forward if you need to, but don't beat yourself up about it, right? Trust yourself and trust that the decision that you make in that moment is what is best for you in that moment, right? And all involved. This can also be about channeling charged emotions. So the 2 energy can sometimes bring intense emotions or deep emotions, so to kind of be moved through. So it can be a charged energy, right? And so you might find that you're easily triggered over something, or that you feel deep emotions about something. This is a month where emotions could be coming in very strongly. And so sit with them, move through them, work with them, honor them, but be mindful of how you express them, right? If you become overly agitated or overly aggressive or something like that over a situation, that's going to influence, if you're not in control of those emotions and that charged energy, that's going to potentially dictate whether you react or you respond to the situation, right? Which then will dictate the experience that follows. So this month is really asking us to get in more awareness when it comes to our emotions, and as well as how we want to work with those emotions and that charged energy, because emotions are life, right? We are feeling beings. We are meant to feel emotions. It's what we do with those emotions that makes the difference, that creates the experience. So this 2 energy coming in collectively is really going to be asking us to take a closer look at that and take responsibility for how we express those emotions, right? Not meant to avoid them, not meant to suppress them, none of that. We are emotive beings. We are meant to feel. So, but again, it's in the expression that makes the difference and that determines the experience. And so this month could bring up some things that might trigger us, that might force us to look at the emotions that sort of are more in control of us. so that we can get a greater handle on that and work with that energy, that charged energy, and channel it into something positive. This can also be a very highly sensitive month where things that might not have affected us in the past are a little bit more quick to bring about some kind of reaction, right? Or response. And so just pay attention to what's yours, what's not yours, because again, it's a highly sensitive period. And so we could be picking up on things emotionally or get a sense for things that affect our mood that may not even be ours to carry. And so just keep in mind that it is a highly sensitive period. So don't get too attached to what you're feeling, especially if it's not yours, right? And again, relationships could come into the focus this month. So mending or healing of relationships that are still meant to be a part of the journey. New connections coming in. So new soulmate connections, friends, family, pets type thing could definitely be coming in this month. And these are often relationships that are serving a greater purpose. So some kind of soul contract coming in potentially to assist us on our journey. So pay attention to the people that you meet, or again, the pets that come into your life at this time. We could uncover a new way of relating to others that serves us better and serves others better, right? So a new way of looking at relationships and how we relate to others could absolutely be coming in collectively this month. So again, pay attention to those people that come into your life or the people that resurface in your life and what they're trying to show you. What is their divinity trying to teach you, right? Through their own wisdom and through what they trigger within you type thing, or what they bring you that's beautiful, right? And so how we can learn to accept that beauty as well. That's a big part of relating as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at each individual life path number now for the month of April. 33 sixes. Okay, so I pulled an animal wisdom message for you all, and you got Scorpion energy. So what's interesting here is, and this is interesting because if you listen to the reading for the 6, I think it was the 6th, there's like a very powerful animal that came through for them as well, which of course that is your sort of core energy, is the 6. But for the 33, it's a very strong energy as well that's coming through. And because what's interesting with that and why I'm kind of spending some time on that is because 33 sixes and sixes, obviously it's in your blood to be very nurturing and loving and caregiving and doing for others and seeing, what people need and then being able to show up in that way, etc. So I love when very strong energy comes through for 33 sixes and sixes because it sort of gives you permission, not that you need permission, but it gives you permission to step into your more masculine side or your more masculine energy, the more sort of assertive side, the more standing up for yourself and going after what you need and not taking any shit and like going after, what really speaks to you and setting healthy boundaries and not feeling guilt or shame around that. So with the Scorpion coming through, this is about resolve. This is about resiliency. This is about bravery. This is about standing up for what you need and setting healthy boundaries. Now, it could be said that with the Scorpion, I was just talking about Scorpio in one of the previous readings, but the Scorpion could, of course, be seen as more of an aggressive, like one that's more reactive. And, you could tie that into the intro that I talked about with this being a highly emotive month collectively and all of that. So of course you can take it to an extreme, right? I'm not really worried about that with 33 sixes, but you could take it to the extreme where you become overly reactive, overly aggressive, overly like controlling, et cetera, et cetera. But really what I see with Scorpion coming through for you all is just, again, giving you permission to stand up for yourself, to take the initiative, to not sacrifice yourself, right? Compromise, yes. Sacrifice, no. But really like not feeling shame or guilt for putting yourself first every now and then and really like touching base with yourself to see, what is it that I want? What is it that I need to do to get that? And does that mean that I'm going to have some difficult conversations with people and set those healthy boundaries? Now, if you followed me for a while, I always am talking about healthy boundaries when it comes to 33 sixes and sixes, because, of all the energies, the 33s and the sixes are the ones who struggle with setting those healthy boundaries, because it kind of goes against the nature of, or that feeling of, stepping into your energy, when in reality, you can't fill somebody else's cup unless you're filling your own. So I love Scorpion coming through for you all, because again, it's like, sometimes you got to get a little bit, a little catty, right? You got to get a little bit, you got to be a little more, not you, but you got to be assertive in life, right? It's okay. That's needed. That actually brings in a really healthy balance. And so if there's anywhere in your life where you've kind of become the doormat, or you become the one that everybody comes to when they need something, but when you need something, they're nowhere to be in sight, this is going to help you to step into that power of standing up for yourself, right? So I love to see this coming through. It's fantastic for, again, setting those healthy boundaries, stepping into your own empowerment, and moving from the space of, okay, am I good? Because if I'm not good, I can't help others type thing. So I need to get good, right? And part of that means I need to stand up for myself and go after what I need. And if there's a relationship or a situation that's not working, I need to interject and stand up for myself and either release this and move away from it, or stop sacrificing and find a healthy compromise. So love to see this coming through for you all. Okay. So for you guys, now you do have, of course, the 2 energy that you're working with, just like the rest of us this month, but you also have this very strong energy of the 35-8 coming through. So this can sometimes signify inheritance of money, inheritance of power. So maybe someone in the company leaves, and then you just by default step into that. So let's say you're the VP of a company and the president leaves, then you automatically would be gifted or inherit that, so to speak. Not always, but that's just the general idea. So you can inherit, or let's say that there's a family business and someone in the family that's higher than you steps out of that position, and then you just step into it. So there can be that kind of inheritance as well. There can be inheritance of some kind of status as well. Some kind of, you would think about this with like the monarchy or something like that as an example. So so inheritance, especially money inheritance, comes in very strongly under this. So not saying that's necessarily going to happen, but it might, and it doesn't always mean that someone has to pass away before you can receive that inheritance. A lot of times people will give them their inheritance early. So for some of you, you might see that come through. Legal proceedings could come in this month as well for you all. Under this energy, it's usually those legal proceedings concluding. So some kind of conclusion, closure, coming to some kind of legal proceeding. Not to say that it couldn't be initiated under this energy. It absolutely could. But legal energy is highlighted with this energy. Recognition is very possible now. So if there's anything that you've been working towards, or you've been putting a lot of energy in, you could get some kind of recognition for that at this time. You could find that you step into some kind of you step onto some kind of platform that gives you a further reach, a much larger reach type thing. You could see that. So if you're somebody who has a podcast or has a YouTube channel, you might see this month that you get an influx of followers or subscribers or clients or whatever, but some kind of acknowledgement, some kind of accolades for your effort is very possible under this. This is also an energy because you do have influences of the 5 here. This is very much an energy where anything can happen. So really being adaptable and sort of expect the unexpected around things to do with 8 energy. So again, power, status, money, resources, even spirituality in a sense as well. You might see some big insights come through from your higher self, or psychic powers unleashed. That's possible as well, especially as a 33, because you're already pretty connected in a sense. So you might see some of those gifts open up as well. But this is really going to be a month where you just got to kind of expect the unexpected and go with the flow as much as possible, because it can be a really kind of shifty energy where, like I said, you're not expecting the president to step down or leave or whatever, but they do. And now you're stepping into that role unexpectedly. That's very possible under this kind of energy. Again, anything can happen, so just be as adaptable as possible. This can also feel like a very high pressure period. So where, changes bring about a lot of responsibility or added responsibility. So again, like maybe you step into the spotlight and you start to get a lot more subscribers or followers, and then you feel that added pressure of needing to perform in a certain way, or you get more clients and then so you become busier. That's also possible. So this can be a period where, again, you see shifts that create, some kind of influx of something, right, to do with the 8 energy. And so with that comes added responsibility. And so you can feel that pressure. So just, make sure that you find ways to decompress and that you don't let that sort of derail you in a sense. Because a lot of times the universe is going to work with us. It's not going to give us more than we can handle. But sometimes what the universe feels we can handle and what we feel we can handle are two different things. So it's very possible that you might unexpectedly step into something that just brings a lot more responsibility, and you might not feel ready for it, but you just need to figure out how to make it work. I would also say, because you got strong influences of the 3, be very mindful of your words this month and your messages. How are they landing? And of course, you can't control how other people receive your messages. But, you all have double 3 energy in your life path. And now you've got influences of the 3. So there could be something with communication here, the written, the spoken word. Just make sure there's integrity behind your words, that what you're saying, the intention is to do good, right? To deliver a message that's going to be helpful as opposed to creating discord, right? So just be mindful of that. You may also find yourself in a position of influence or power. So again, I would say your words it's going to be really important that you're mindful of that and that you're using that power of influence in a way that can help people and uplift people and inspire people. So beautiful energies for you all this month. Just remember Scorpion energy and, standing up for yourself, asking for what you need, being very owning your space and commanding, respect for that space and not apologizing for owning that space. This is very, that's sort of the strong energy of the Scorpion. So beautiful for you all. I hope it's a great April. Take care, 33s. Bye for now.